Reactions have continued to throw a controversial ruling by the Supreme Court of Nigeria, which upheld the death sentence of Sunday Jackson, a farmer who has been convicted of killing a Fulani herdsman in an act of self-defense. The decision comes 10 years after Jackson was first imprisoned, sparking outrage over what legal experts describe as a clear miscarriage of justice. Jackson, a farmer who was violently attacked with a knife by the deceased Fulani herdsman, despite sustaining injuries, Jackson managed to overpower his attacker, wresting the weapon from him and using it in self-defense. The report. The trial court led by Justice Fatima Ahmed Tafida ruled that Jackson should have fled the scene instead of using the knife against his attacker. However, many argue that this ruling ignores the context of self-defense and the immediacy of the threat Jackson faced. Some right lawyers have pointed out that the trial was marred by irregularities, including a 167-day delay between the final addresses and the delivery of judgment, which exceeds the constitutional mandated 90 days. The Supreme Court's decision has sparked widespread outrage, with many calling it a miscarriage of justice. Supporters of Jackson have launched a campaign urging Governor Ahmadu Fintiri of Adamawa State to grant a pardon and spare Jackson's life. The case has also reignited conversations about self-defense laws in Nigeria, particularly in rural areas where clashes between farmers and herdsmen are common. Critics argue that the ruling fails to account for the complexity of self-defense and the need for citizens to protect themselves against violent attackers. As the court seeks for Sunday Jackson, his fate remains uncertain, but the call for compassion and justice grows louder by the day.
And this is a sad day, Charles, for human rights in Nigeria. Sunday Jackson, and I'm not a lawyer, I'm a human rights advocate. Sunday Jackson, by anyone's estimation, is totally innocent. And the issue where this man was out farming, minding his own business, and then the attacker came and a struggle ensued. And of course, this man is going to defend himself. That's why we call it self-defense. And yet today, we were at the Nigerian Supreme Court, and it was very brief. It was only about maybe 2 minutes long. And we just wept at the failure of the Nigerian Supreme Court to say that this man, and they had the opportunity to say this man was totally innocent. We haven't seen all the ins and outs of the decision, but we had the opportunity to meet this humble farmer, this young man who unfortunately his wife abandoned him, had been on death row for 10 years. So Sunday Jackson has now become an international case.
The case details reveal that Sunday was working on his own farm when a herdsman brought cattle to graze on his property. Findings have revealed that the knife used in the incident belonged to the herdsman, suggesting the herdsman was the initial aggressor. There appears to be a concerning pattern in similar cases where in 2018, another Adamawa High Court presided by Justice Abdulaziz Waziri sentenced 5 Christian farmers to death by hanging for allegedly killing a herdsman in a reprisal attack. These judgments raise concerns about potential religious bias in the judicial system, as judges from one religious background have sentenced defendants of another faith to death in controversial circumstances. This pattern may warrant investigation by the National Judicial Council. The situation reflects broader tensions in Nigeria's Middle Belt region. Recall the former governor, Governor El-Rufai, previously justified reprisal killings by herdsmen and provided monetary compensation to those who killed Southern Kaduna residents in what were termed reprisal attacks.
We felt that we were succeeding. We felt that we had got the transhumans out of the equation and can now focus on resolving the issues between local herdsmen and farmers, which is still an issue. Okay, but yes, we offered them money. We said, look, if we have to pay you not to kill our people, we're happy to do it.
This case highlights concerns about inequitable application of laws between herdsmen and farmers in Nigeria's northeast region.